India has 28 states, each with its own language, way of life, and a unique and distinct cuisine. I am from West Bengal, and Vidhi is from Gujarat. Spain and Portugal have more in common than we do. So, why has only a fraction of Indian cuisine become popular worldwide? We have no idea. In this video, we'll explore the magical world of Tamil food. We'll be guided by Pallavi, a close friend and a professional chef, who will be joined by her Paati, whose infectious laughter became the highlight of the story. More on this later because things did not get off to a good start. But there's a happy ending because the dynamic duo will put together an entire thali lunch featuring 6 dishes and some extra accompaniments. Because why stop at 6, right? So let's get right into it. We'll start with sambar, a hearty, tangy, and slightly spicy lentil stew from South India that's often considered a cornerstone of the region's cuisine.
So today we are making the sambar with the jackfruit seed. But of course, if you eat onions, you can add onions, capsicum, a lot of different vegetables with this.
We'll first add some turmeric, salt, and some water.
So we put haldi in almost every food we make. Haldi is like quintessential. The palakode or the jackfruit seeds are here. Now along with that, because it's a sambar, we'll be making the dal as well. So we'll put the tur dal. So we'll add extra water because the water which will come on top, we'll use that for making rasam. Like I said, a bit of parodi.
Pallavi stacks the rice, the tur dal, and the jackfruits in the same pressure cooker. And this is a neat little trick that most Indian households use to keep things quick and efficient. Next, we'll ready the spices for the sambar masala. We'll add some hing to some hot oil, then some red chili peppers, chana dal, and whole coriander seeds. Give it a quick saute, and at this point, the kitchen is smelling amazing.
This is how we make it the traditional way, and this is how we make it for weddings also. So if you don't have sambar powder, you can just make this, and this tastes much better than shop bought sambar potty.
Next goes the grated coconut, and you can turn off the heat as it will cook in the residual heat of the kadhai.
बंद कर दो. Yes.
We'll then take it off the flame, let it cool, and finally add it to the blender with some water. Blend till you have a consistency like this. Now we'll get back to the pressure cooker. Pallavi was worried about the jackfruit seeds because you usually use the ripe fruit, but she was relieved to see that it peeled off perfectly and that the texture was as expected.
And now we are almost done with everything. Now all we have to do is combine everything together to make the sambar.
To some hot oil, we'll add some mustard seeds, fenugreek seeds,
Methi.
hing, and curry leaves. Give it a quick mix and add in the tamarind juice. We'll show you how to make this later, so stick around. You can see Paati using her fingers to filter in the residual liquid while trapping the pulp. This is just one of several ingenious techniques she uses throughout this video to make sure that nothing is wasted. We missed filming it, but Paati added some chopped tomatoes and then some salt to taste as well. Some of that beautiful fragrant sambar masala, the jackfruit seeds that have been prepared so meticulously, and we'll whisk in the dal and add it in. And we're still not done. We'll add some jaggery to balance things out. Sambar is hearty, tangy, and slightly spicy and sweet all at the same time. And of course, we'd get into trouble if we didn't garnish with some freshly chopped coriander. Now we're done. And on to the next dish. Rassam is a tangy, spiced broth from South India, cherished for its bold flavors and soothing qualities. After the tur dal was cooked for the sambar, we separated out the cooking liquid and set it aside for the rasam. Next, Paati will juice the tamarind by squeezing it and then filtering the pulp with her fingers. And then you add more water and continue the same process. We use some of this for the sambar already. We'll add some salt to the tamarind juice along with some rasam powder, chopped tomatoes, and water. We'll now start heating it and add in some turmeric. Next, we'll prepare the tempering of oil, mustard seeds, curry leaves, and add it to the simmering Rassam. We can now appreciate another cool party technique to make sure that every last bit of flavor is utilized and nothing is wasted.
Bas, okay.
And that's that. Now let's move on to the next dish. Next up is Paruppu Usli. We'll start by filtering out some soaked chana dal and adding it to a blender. Add some
Bas.
salt and blend. Add some of the soaking water to adjust the consistency till you have something like this. Next, we'll add some water to a kadhai. Once hot, we'll add some chopped French beans, turmeric, and some salt. We'll set it aside to cook. Next, we'll add some oil to a kadhai. We'll add some mustard seeds, urad dal, and curry leaves. Finally, in goes the chana dal mixture. Again, Paati makes sure that absolutely nothing is wasted. We'll keep cutting and mixing the paste into the seasonings until you have a dry consistency like
ये दो
this.
चार मिनट एक्सट्रैक्ट का फिर ये बाजू उसमें डालने का.
Once the beans are cooked, we'll add it to the cooked dal mixture. Mix to combine, and that's that. It's ready to be served. Next up is Poriyal, and we'll hand it over to the effervescent Pallavi, who's honestly so much better at this narration stuff than I am.
Poriyal means to stir fry, and you can make it with anything, with beans, with every vegetable possible. We make it with raw banana. We make some people also make it with bhindi. Today we are doing cabbage. Very simple. So oil, once it's nice and hot, we add some urad dal, some mustard seeds, fried red chilies, curry leaves, and a bit of hing. And that's it. That's the tadka. Once the urad dal is brown, we'll add the cabbage.
Every sizzle was perfectly timed. You know she's a pro. We'll add some salt and let it steam for a little bit.
It's to have a bit of a bite. And so pori means to fry in Tamil. So this is like a stir fry. Poriyal. Yeah. So it's ready. The sabzi is looking nice and done. All we have to do now is add the coconut. You can make the poriyal without coconut also, but most of it has coconut. And once you add the coconut, you don't cook it for any longer. And this is it. Once the gas is off, you can start serving.
So, Pallavi, what's next?
So we're doing like a very quick salad with this is moong dal, or we call it pasi paruppu. This is washed and soaked moong dal for about 2 to 3 hours. That's good enough. So to this, we are just going to add some cucumber. It's a very refreshing salad. Some grated carrots, some green chilies. This is as per your taste, how much ever you like it. And then we'll put some coriander, some lemon. Again, hing is also another ingredient that we use a lot. Now you just mix it. We are almost there. We just have to do like give a nice tadka to this. You can eat it as it is, but if you add a tadka, it just brings the flavors together. So just a little bit of oil, and when that's hot, we'll just add a bit of urad dal and a bit of mustard. Once it splutters, we'll just add the curry leaves. And that's it. Yep, it's done. It's nice and bright.
Yeah, very good. And next up is Payasam, a gloriously simple dessert.
Kacha
We'll
chawal.
start by adding soaked rice and grated coconut to a blender. We'll simmer the mixture and add water to adjust it to a runny consistency. The rice will thicken it significantly later on. Next, we'll chop some jaggery and add it to the mixture.
गुड़ डालता है.
I noticed that Paati had her game face on, so I questioned her about it.
I was wondering if you need to be more focused to get the consistency right. And Pallavi confirms that the ratios and timings are something that you get right over time. Once we reach this consistency, we'll add some cardamom powder. To finish, we'll heat a pan, dry roast some cashews, and add it to the payasam. And there you have it. 6 amazing dishes made from scratch. Now let's make it look good. We'll start plating, leafing by flattening a banana leaf. First, go a couple of banana slices, some steaming hot rice, the Paruppu Usli, the Poriyal, the jackfruit sambar, and the Wait, it looks like Pallavi has an admirer.
Thanks, Dada.
Where were we? Yes, the Rassam, the salad, some fried banana chips, some papad, and finally the payasam. Pallavi's mama noticed that we were quite overwhelmed by the thali, so he helped us out by showing us his favorite sequence of eating the meal. Chef looked happy with herself, and Vidhi couldn't wait to dig in.
This is looking so good. It's so beautifully laid and put together, and there are so many elements.
Generally, I like to start with the lightest parts, like the most non-cooked parts. So I like to go with the salad or something like that. Very good. Nice, crunchy, fresh, and yeah, nice cake to it also. Brilliant. Who made this? Very good.
I am going to start with the rasam. I'm very excited. So good. The tamarind flavor comes through so well. Next.
I'll definitely try the sambar next.
This you need to eat with your hands.
Let's go authentic. It's beautiful. An explosion of flavors, actually. I love this.
The jackfruit seed has cooked so well. It's become so tender. Like, if someone didn't tell me, I would have no idea this is a jackfruit seed. Poriyal. So simple, so nice, and the flavor of coconut makes it really special. This is so unique because usually in Gujaratis we make something similar but we directly use besan. But here they have used chana dal, soaked it, blended it, and then cooked it. So it has a different texture and bite to it, which is really nice.
The payasam. Payasam is one of my favorite desserts. Yeah, that's really good. That is really good. It's so mildly sweet, and the texture is creamy. It's vegan.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really shocking. You know, the absence of milk is just not fair. It's really creamy, and the texture is just really great on your tongue. It just rolls off. It's beautiful.
And I love the meal as well. So, how does the magic happen? Sometimes the simple things can have a magical effect. Paati and Pallavi have made these dishes thousands of times before. That repetition means that just like a professional athlete, there's a great chance that they will get every element spot on. And we felt it. Even with the lights and cameras and mics, all the movements were in harmony and everything was perfectly seasoned and salted. In terms of flavors, the tadka or tempering of mustard, curry leaves and hing was present in almost every recipe. It's a simple combination, but it really packs a punch and forms the foundation of the flavor profile. And temperings are a fantastic way to infuse flavor into everything, from dals to curries to even salads, as Pallavi showed us. This was also a masterclass in how to use lentils. We used chana dal, tur dal, moong dal, and even urad dal. And the dal was prepared in so many ways: soaked for the salad, soaked and boiled for the sambar, soaked, blended, and cooked for the Paruppu Usli, and even fried as a part of the tempering. Lentils are a fantastic source of protein, and this was a masterclass in using them differently to get different textures and flavors. Sambar is generally quite intimidating for non South Indian households, so I was surprised at how easy these two made it look. Typically, we use a store bought spice premix to keep things simple, and these mixes can sometimes have more than 10 or 15 ingredients. But I really want to try making it this way sometime soon. It felt simple and achievable, and as Chinmay said,
It's beautiful. An explosion of flavors, actually. I love this.
and if you haven't used curry leaves, these things are absolutely magical. But beware, it gets intense when these hit the hot oil. Even the pros need to take a step back, and so should you. We thought we'd sit down with Pallavi and ask her how she felt about everything.
While we were cooking, I was just thinking that, oh, this is such a cool concept that you actually go to the people or even eventually I think this will grow bigger, and you get to like cook with people at home, and it's going to be so different, like
Yeah.
every place is going to have different recipes.
Right.
Like even the one that we made today, it may not be like, some people will be like, we don't make it like this, but that's the beauty, that
Yeah.
every house has a different recipe. And
Yeah.
I think I really wish that this grows and you're
Oh.
able to visit more places.
When we got here today morning, it was quite serious, like when Paati was asleep and the plan was that Chinmay would, take her to the hospital because it was so serious.
But I think looking at you guys, she was like, look, aa gaye.
Yeah.
So I think, so thank you for that. I think her energy actually came
Yeah.
from knowing that she's going to be on the camera
Yeah.
and in front of the camera. And I told her that they are coming just for you.
Yeah.
So be ready. So I think that really pumped her. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
No,
I was-
thank you guys. I feel very grateful to everyone in this house, for letting us in and then feeding us, and now we get to make a video about it as well. So yeah, good day.
And it really was a good day. We hope you enjoyed it as much as Chinmay enjoyed the payasam.
Yeah, that's really good.